There shall not be found among you anyone that uses witchcraft, or an observer of times, or an enchanter, or a witch. And when they say unto you, seek unto them that I have familiar spirits, and unto wizards, if they speak not according to this word, it is because there is no light in them. Hello, and blessings to you. Welcome to this study of the Rapture. What's it about, and when's it going to happen? And the soul that turns after such as having familiar spirits and after wizards, to go a whoring after them, I will even set my face against that soul, and will cut him off from among his people. And they that use witchcraft and enchantments, and sold themselves to do evil in the sight of Yahweh. Then Elohim said to me, the prophets prophesy lies in my name. I sent them not, neither have I commanded them, neither spoken to them. They prophesy unto you a false vision of divination, and a thing of nothingness, and the deceit of their heart. I can keep going, but I ask you to focus in on the theme of this message: witchcraft, black magic, sorcery, fortune telling, all the tricks and prophecies that are of the devil. Divination is the practice of seeking knowledge of the future or of the unknown by supernatural means. When you read the Bible blindly, you fall to spirits that feed your physical satisfaction. It tricks you into a spell by teaching you you'll be raptured away before Satan returns. This supernatural doctrine is divination in the fact you are telling the future, not by reading scripture, but by interpreting them. Supernatural is the manifestations or events considered to be of supernatural origin, such as ghosts. So, folks who teach this rapture doctrine might as well be looking into a crystal ball, as it is found in the Bible only as a warning not to follow those people who teach such things. Have you not seen a vain vision, and have you not spoken a lying divination, whereas you say, Elohim said it, although I have not spoken it? Of course, it's Paul who causes this stumble in Scripture, as his letters will divide the speckled and the spotted from the herds. But let's look at this and investigate if what we are being taught is true. Then we, which are alive and remain, shall be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet the Lord in the air, and so shall we ever be with the Lord. First thing we notice is caught up, which seems kind of violent. That's because it is. Check out the Greek from which this comes. Harpazo, which means to seize or to catch away, to pluck or pull, to take by force. What this amounts to is being snatched away by force. This is deception that's happening right now. Then 2 men will be in the field. One will be taken and one left. 2 women will be grinding oat in the mill. One will be taken and one will be left. You do not want to be taken because the false Messiah comes first, and you think you'll be gone, so when he does show up, you'll be snatched away. Remember, dear friends, if it's not Scripture, it is the traditions of men. Look at this warning we get from Scripture about this flyaway doctrine. Wherefore says Elohim, behold, I am against your pillows, where there you hunt the souls to make them fly. And I will tear them from your arms, and will let the souls go, even the souls that you hunt to make them fly. Also will I tear, and deliver my people out of your hand, and there shall be no more in your hand to be hunted, and you shall know that I am Yahweh. Because with lies you have made the heart of the righteous sad, whom I have not made sad, and strengthened the hands of the wicked, that he should not return from his wicked way, by promising him life. Therefore you shall see no more vanity, nor divine witchcraft, for I will deliver my people out of your hand, and you shall know that I am Yahweh. As we can read, Scriptures are against this flyaway doctrine. Let's go back to Paul and being gathered together in the clouds. This is Greek slang, just like we have today, such as, I am going to run to the store, or he's about as useful as a steering wheel on a mule. Probably bad metaphors, but you understand the person isn't actually going to physically run to the store, just as you understand a mule doesn't have a steering wheel. I have blotted out as a thick cloud thy transgressions, and as a cloud thy sins. Return unto me, for I have redeemed you. Behold, he shall come up as clouds, and thou shalt come up against my people of Israel as a cloud to cover the land. You get the message, don't you? Since it is Paul that causes this stumble, let him clear it up for us. And were all baptized unto Moses in the cloud and in the sea. Wherefore, seeing we also are encompassed about with a great cloud of witnesses. And right there is the answer to flying away into the clouds. It's slang. When our King comes from the sky, we will gather to him like the clouds gather, not snatching us away. This is a good time to look at science. Clouds form when the invisible water vapors in the air condenses into visible water droplets. You can't see a cloud until enough water gathers together to form one. As we know, water and seas are symbolic of people in Scripture, as in Revelation the dragon rises up out of the people. This rapture doctrine is deception, so you will not endure to the end. When everything is burning down around you and Hasatan shows up, you'll accept him as the Messiah, and it will be because you sat down with fortune tellers that uses Scripture to interpret the future that is not written but do lie. Because with lies you have made the heart of the righteous sad, whom I have not made sad, and strengthened the hands of the wicked, that he should not return from his wicked way, by promising him life. Without a second witness that we're flying away, there is only one way to read Paul and keep all the scriptures in context. Then we who endure to the end, who are left, will be gathered up together with them to meet Yeshua, who arrived in the clouds. And so we will always be with our King. Now, this rapture doctrine came from John Darby, the founder of Plymouth Brethren, and he put forth the pre-rapture doctrine around the year 1830. After traveling to northern Scotland to meet with Margaret MacDonald, who had a vision during a serious sickness. This vision, which she said felt evil, was that Jesus would come in 2 stages. It was also about this time Joseph Smith wrote the Book of Mormon because of a vision he had. And it is at this time speaking in tongues started appearing. The evil spirits were running wild during this period of time. Prior to John Darby, no theologian, no early church fathers or domination had ever suggested a 2-stage second coming of Messiah, which would make 3 times if we count when he was born here. So this rapture doctrine was non-existent until the 19th century. The rapture theory only really took off through the works of Hal Lindsey in the 1970s and Jerry Jenkins with the Left Behind series. All this rapture stuff isn't even a couple of 100 years old yet. We are treating it as if it's scripture. Speaking of scripture, let's get back to it. It seems to always be Paul who causes so much confusion in these matters. Yet if we read Paul in context, there is so much we can learn. The false flyaway doctrine comes from the same verses where we are changed into a spiritual body and fly away. Now, many have enough study to know we're not going to fly away, but they accept the other half, we are suddenly changed into a spiritual body. In all scriptures, the secrets are given in parables, metaphors, analogies, and symbology. It is only by His blessing are we chosen to understand. That's why it's given to us the way it is. Let's start with Paul, the Riddler, speaking to us a secret. First thing we read, Paul saying he is giving us a mystery, and that is to check with our Messiah, so to know if this is something we can trust. For false messiahs and false prophets shall rise, but take heed, behold, I have foretold you all things. Is this a warning about Paul? No. It is the same warning 2 Peter 3:16 gave us about Paul in twisting him to our destruction. We can read this secret is really not a secret, but a detail of the event to take place. False prophets have always been around, but the most recent is the rapture and change doctrine. The sad part is most Christians don't know the story of the Bible. Do you not know that the saints shall judge the world? Let's check with our Messiah. And Yeshua said unto them, Verily I say unto you, you which have followed me, in the regeneration, when the Son of Man shall sit in the throne of his glory, you also shall sit upon 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel. See, it's those in the regeneration or helping in renewing of the covenant. Those 12 we read about in Scripture. It is those who walked with Yeshua who hold a seat of judgment with Messiah. Let's get back to Paul showing us the physical man compared to the spiritual man. And as it is appointed unto men once to die, but after this the judgment. Notice every man is appointed to die, period. There is no magical change. Between death and judgment, you are with your Father. But now the Anointed One has risen from the dead and become the first fruits of them that slept. For since by man came death, by man came also the resurrection of the dead. For as in Adam all die, even so in Yeshua shall all be made alive. But every man in his own order, Yeshua the first fruits, after they that are Messiahs at his coming. Then comes the end, when he shall have delivered up the kingdom to Elohim, even the Father, when he shall have put down all rule and authority and power, for he must reign till he has put all enemies under his feet. All dead only come alive through Yeshua, but it must be in that order. But some men will say, how are the dead raised up, and with what body do they come? Thy fool, that which thou sowest is not quickened, except it die. All flesh is not the same flesh, but there is one kind of flesh of man, another flesh of beast, another of fish, and another of birds. There are also celestial bodies and bodies terrestrial, but the glory of the celestial one and the glory of the terrestrial is another. So, also in the resurrection of the dead, it is shown in the corruption. It is raised in corruption. It is sown in dishonor. It is raised in glory. It is sown in weakness. It is raised in power. It is sown a natural body. It is raised a spiritual body. There is a natural body and there is a spiritual body. Now that we have the subject nailed down, the physical and the spiritual bodies, I say, brethren, that flesh and blood cannot inherit the kingdom of Elohim, neither doeth corruption inherit incorruption. Behold, I show you a mystery. We shall not all sleep, but we shall all be changed in a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trump. For the trump shall sound, and the dead shall be raised incorruptible, and we shall be changed. For this corruption must put on incorruption, and this mortal must put on immortality. Oh, now Paul speaks to us a secret. Remember how this started out? When asked our Messiah, who said he foretold us all things. Did this mean Paul lied? No. Paul is being taken out of context. No surprise there. The big mystery is in the timing of the last trump. See, the church has you believing all of a sudden you are going to be changed into a spiritual body and fly away. But even Paul, the man which is used to fly away, told you it was appointed for all men to die. We need a little explanation about the 7 trumps. What this is, it's a sound resembling that of a trumpet, an especially loud cry like that of an elephant, proclaiming widely and loudly. I was in the Spirit on y'all's day and heard behind me a great voice as of a trumpet. The reason people only have 7 trumps is because Revelation starts out with the 7 spirits, and these are the angels who open the 7 seals. Each is opened with a loud cry. Yahweh's day is 1,000 years as told to us in Genesis. Each day is 1,000 years. The millennial reign is the 7th day, or the Sabbath day, after having 6,000 years since the last Sabbath from creation. Just like when the second earth age in Genesis, this will be the start of a new earth age. Day 1 after the 1,000-year Sabbath. The first day of the week, a new age, the last earth age, the last trump. This is why I believe the 2 witnesses to be Enoch and Elijah. They have yet to die a flesh death. During the tribulation, when time is cut short for the elect's sake, our Messiah comes for the church? No, sir. He is coming for the 144,000 humans alive in the flesh, with families and needs, spiritual virgins, saying, hurt not the earth, neither the sea nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our Elohim in their foreheads. And I heard the number of them which were sealed, and there were sealed 144,000 of all the tribes of the children of Israel. The only spiritual bodies are Yeshua and those saints, the disciples and prophets who have come with him. But it will be the 144,000 that become priests during the 1,000-year reign. There will be much teaching during this time while Hasatan is locked away. The population of the world will continue. This is how everyone will find a flesh death. There will be peace at this time, only in the sense Satan nor his spirit is allowed to roam. People will still be their own little gods, following the desires of the flesh and rejecting the Messiah, even after they've bowed a knee to him. It is towards the end of the 1,000 years Satan is let loose to gather together the last of his children, and they will find the flesh death by fire sent down from our Creator. Now is the change spoken of by Paul. This is when the new kingdom comes down. It is then the corrupt puts on incorruption. The mortal puts on immortality. It's all over with. No more flesh. For people on earth to be changed into the incorruptible body, only to spend the next 1,000 years with the same people preaching makes no sense. What would it matter if it was 100 years or 1,000 years? If it's the same people, time really wouldn't matter. And I saw thrones, and they sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yeshua, and for the word of Elohim, which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither had received his mark upon their forehead or in their hands. And they lived and reigned with Yeshua 1,000 years. But the rest of the dead lived not again until the 1,000 years were finished. This is the first resurrection. Blessed and holy is he that has part in the first resurrection. On such the second death has no power, but they shall be priests of Elohim and of Yeshua, and shall reign with him 1,000 years. See, read it for yourselves. It is only those who have died for his name's sake and the saints of the renewed covenant. All others who have died and have yet to die during the 1,000 years do not come back until the Father brings them back, after our King having placed all of y'all's enemies underfoot. I know this is getting long, but it's important to understand this is why the rapture doctrine and changing without death into a spiritual body is so dangerous to your soul. Yet has he not root in himself, but endureth for a while. For when tribulation or prosecution arises because of the word, by and by he is offended. The word offended here translates as stumbling block, or to cause someone to mistrust. And that's just what's going to happen if you think you're going to escape a tribulation. Heck, it's going on right now, and many don't even see it because they are part of the world and it's not touching them. What Christians call a rapture is really first fruits, those chosen from their submission to reign with him. All others wait for the white throne judgment. This is anyone that did not fully submit and will be judged by their deeds. This is when we get rewarded and punished according to our walk. It is also the time when many lukewarm will be thrown into the lake of fire, along with the atheists and the unbelievers. The Father loves the Son and has given all into his hand. He who believes in the Son possesses everlasting life, but he that does not obey the Son shall not see life, but the wrath of Elohim remains on him. The mystery that Paul told, the big secret, is everyone is counting the trumps in the start of Revelation, and our Messiah does come at the 7th. The new earth age starts at the last trump. This is the twinkling of the eye, because by now everyone has died a physical death and received a spiritual body. The only beings here after Armageddon are Yeshua and those who came with him at the 7th trump. It is the last trump when all those found in good judgment come with the Father, and we will be part of setting up the new earth age forever and ever. Prayerfully, this helps someone out of the once saved, always saved doctrine that you're flying away. Nothing in Scripture gives you wings. Shalom.